This week, AI broke rules and records. GPT-5 landed. People cheered and complained. Europe flipped the switch on new AI rules. The US okayed scaled-down chips for China and takes a 15% cut on those sales. Meanwhile, Cohere grabbed $500 million to scale. If you build or invest in AI this week matters. I'll break it down in plain English. Quote, 10 minutes from now, you'll know what to do next. Let's start with GPT-5 and the Backlash. GPT-5 launched on August 7th. It ships as a system, a fast main model plus a deeper thinking model. Many users felt the vibe changed, less engaging, more sterile. A rooting glitch made GPT-5 seem dumber than it is. Sam Altman responded. OpenAI kept GPT-4o available and pushed hotfixes. New knobs arrived, speed modes, higher limits, improved model picker, strength check coding. GPT-5 rolls into GitHub Copilot previews across IEDs. Media take. Useful upgrades, but hype is ahead of reality for now. Practical takeaway, keep 404 tone. Use 5 when you need longer toolchains. Save time. Use minimal reasoning for quick answers. Enable deep thinking only when needed, till routing stabilizes. Manually pick your model per task. Editors noticed weaker prose. Developers report better tool execution. 4 teams set defaults. 404 chat, 5 thinking for workflows and agents. Net. Adjust expectations, optimize your stack, and revisit in a week. On August 2nd, new EU rules for general-purpose AI kicked in. If you place a general-purpose AI model on the EU market now, you must comply today. Models already in market before August 2nd get a grace period until August 2nd, 2027. Core obligations. Technical docs. Transparency on capabilities and limits, and a summary of training data with copyright info. Not based in the EU? You still need an authorized EU representative? The most advanced models above 1025 FLO PSAR systemic risk and face extra duties. Extra duties include risk assessments, adversarial testing, security, serious incident reporting, and notifying the EU AI office. Member states must name national authorities. Enforcement ramps over 2025 to 2026, with fines up to 7% of global turnover. Practical. Publish a clear data sources summary and model card. Keep versioned docs, track copyright, opt-outs. Consider the voluntary code of practice to show good faith compliance templates help. If you just use models, focus on vendor due diligence. Keep providers' transparency reports and usage logs. Bottom line, document, disclose, and death. You're pushing the frontier, notify early. The US opened a side door. NVIDIA and AMD can sell scaled-down AI chips to China if they give Washington 15% of the revenue. This isn't a tariff. It's a revenue share baked into export licenses, first of its kind. The chips in play. NVIDIA's H20 and AMD's MI308, both below the top tier. Why the flip? The president called H20 obsolete, arguing the security risk is low. Critics disagree. Legal fight is brewing. A 15% cut on exports may clash with the Constitution's export clause. Geopolitics. Some Chinese entities may shun these chips or push for local alternatives. Market impact. Short-term relief for NVIDIA, AMD. Margins take a haircut. Policy risk stays high. For builders in China, H20 works for lots of inference. Frontier-class training remains constrained. Force teams expect more compliance tracking licenses, buyers, and the 15% remittance. For investors, watch Congress, lawsuits, and any move to extend this model to other exports. Bottom line, controlled access buys time, not safety. Plan for policy whiplash. Up next, funding. Cohere just grabbed $500 million. Cohere raised $500 million, valuing the company at $6.8 billion. The round was led by Radical Ventures and Innovia. AMD, NVIDIA, PSP, and Salesforce joined. Strategy, enterprise only, privacy-first models, often on-prem, wrapped for compliance. Cohere's. North Cohere's agent platform to automate knowledge work safely. Metrics are roughly doubled toward about $100 million. Aiming for $200 million by year-end. New leadership, Joël Pineau becomes Chief AI Officer. Francois Chadwick joins as CFO. Read the signal. Enterprise buyers want secure agents tied to their data. Why investors care. Deep compute partners on the cap table. Go to market via banks.gov and big IT. Risks, crowded vendor field, budget scrutiny, and fear of vendor lock-in. Playbook for teams. Pilot 1 agentic workflow document generation or case summarization, then scale. Next, Google's $9 billion build-out in Oklahoma and what it means for GPUs and jobs. Google committed $9 billion to AI and cloud in Oklahoma over the next 2 years. A new data center campus in Stillwater, and an expansion in Pryor lead the plan. Google is funding training to grow the electrical workforce, boosting the pipeline by 135%. It's part of a broader $1 billion push for AI education. OU and OSU are in the first cohort, which translation for builders. More capacity means shorter GPU queues and steadier latency, good for training and inference. Meanwhile, Google Flights is rolling out an AI tool called Flight Deals for flexible travelers. You can type prompts like week-long trip this winter to a city with great food, non-stop only, and get matching bargains. It's rolling out first in the US, Canada, and India, with new filters like hiding basic economy fares. Bigger picture. Infrastructure and consumer AI are moving in lockstep, capacity on the ground. Assistance in your pocket. Next, Anthropic's $1 Claude offer to US agencies, what it is and why it matters. Anthropic will offer Claude to the US government for $1, covering all 3 branches for a year. It's through GSAS Wanagov, Delphi Fastlane agencies use to buy software. Agencies get Claude for government and enterprise editions, FedRAMP, high and IL5 options for sensitive unclassified work. The offer mirrors OpenAI's move, but Anthropic expands it beyond the executive branch to Congress and the courts. Why $1? Remove friction, prove value, then compete for bigger contracts. Practical for agencies. Start with desk research, drafting, and case summaries. Keep humans in the review loop. Guardrails. Approved use is unclassified. Log prompts, mask P, and store outputs per policy. For vendors, this pressures pricing and security. Government-grade controls become table stakes. Bottom line, a symbolic price to accelerate adoption and a real test of secure AI at scale. Next, publishers versus Google's AI overviews. Traffic down, tensions up. Publishers say Google's AI overviews are cutting their search referrals. New data. Most DCN members report 1% to 25% declines from Google search since AO expanded. A review site saw AO on 30% to 37% of queries and 25% to 50% lower CTR when it appears. SimilarWeb estimates zero-click searches jumped from about 56% to about 69% after AIO rolled out. Some studies tie AIO presence to drops as high as approximately 80% in click-through for top results. Google disputes this, saying overall clicks from search are relatively stable year over year. Meanwhile, EU and UK complaints argue AO uses publisher content without fair choice or consent. Reports suggest publishers who opt out of AI training may still appear in overviews. Google's countermove, an offer wall to help sites monetize the visits that do click through. Takeaway for creators. Target why, how queries and original data, then capture email on the first click. Beijing opened the first World Humanoid Robot Games. 280 teams from 16 countries fielded over 500 humanoids. Events spanned football, sprints, table tennis, and real-world tasks like medicine sorting and cleaning. Day 1 headline, Unitree's H1. Won the 1,500-meter race in 6 minutes 34 seconds and 40 milliseconds. Takeaway, hilarious stumbles. Serious data on ideal testbed for embodied AI. This week formed a triangle, bigger models, tighter rules, and fatter infrastructure. If you build, pick the right model per task document for the EU and pilot 1 agentic workflow. If you invest, watch the US-China chip policy, EU enforcement, and search traffic shocks. I'll pin the smartest insight from your comments. Teach the room something we missed. Subscribe for next week's brief. More signal, no fluff.